Here's a story that I think we should all be paying attention to. It raises one question around BEE. Will a key ruling by the Competition Commission deter foreign investment and hurt the very people the law was meant to help? So the Competition Commission has blocked the sale of Burger King South Africa by Grand Parade Investments to a US private equity firm for 500 million rand. The body says if allowed, the transaction would be a setback for transformation. So here's how it works. The sellers have 68% black ownership. The would-be buyers were sitting at 5%. And here's what gets really interesting. The sellers were in debt and wanted to dispose of the asset. They can't and therefore are still in trouble. The US equity firm in question, ECP Africa, has offices in Washington, in Abidjan, and here in Johannesburg. Do you think they or investors like them will want to come and play here again? Our own Bruce Whitfield spoke to the Competition Commission, and I thought I'd just have him for a few minutes to just take us through it. Bruce, good morning to you. Thank you for your time up so early. You had the Competition Commission on your show. Did they convince you that this was a good idea?
Well, here's the thing, Bongani. I mean, here you've got an untransformed economy. You've got a transformed company that wants to sell an asset and is forbidden by the Competition Commission to sell that asset because the buyer isn't transformed enough. And that's the essential premise here. And it's massively prejudicial to the BEE seller because there are not that many BEE buyers in the market, certainly not at the moment. And here you've got Grand Parade Investments, which have got two-thirds black investors. It's one of South Africa's oldest BEE firms, and they're not allowed to sell their business to a willing buyer. So it's massively prejudicial to the black owners of the asset. It is the weirdest ruling ever because this isn't a secret. These guys have been wanting to sell this business for the last year or so, and it's not like anybody's been bashing down the door begging to buy this business. What could theoretically happen is you could find an equally empowered black company in South Africa going to Grand Parade Investments and saying, we'll give you half the price, and force Grand Parade Investments' hand to sell it to them because they're the only other bidder in the market. It is a weird state of affairs and is massively prejudicial to the black owners of Grand Parade Investments.
Yeah, because also we're not talking about a group of connected fat cats, right? This includes tens of thousands of people on the Cape Flats who might have benefited, for example, from a dividend if this went through in these rough times. So it takes deep pockets to fight this kind of thing, to appeal this kind of thing. Grand Parade probably doesn't have those.
Well, they have no choice. I mean, they're going to have to go to court over this, or at least the buyers will. I mean, I don't know if the buyers are going to be interested, frankly, in going to court over this. These are private equity people who have invested $3 billion on the African continent in, I think, 70 deals, if memory serves, over the last 10 years or so. There are plenty of deals for them to do anywhere they want to do deals. As best I could tell, I hadn't seen them do a deal in South Africa before. I don't know if this was their first attempt to do a deal, but if this is their first attempt to do a deal, I can't imagine that they're going to be queuing up to do too many more because they'll simply be blocked in future from doing deals like this.
Does this mean black firms are now going to be untouchable?
Untouchable as in unsellable. Well, essentially, that's what the ruling means, unless, of course, you can find a willing buyer who's prepared to pay your price, who is as empowered as you. And let's be frank about it, how many companies, honestly, in South Africa with 500 billion rand to invest have got two-thirds black ownership at this stage?
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.